a war. I get knocked down, I get back up, get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go toe to toe till I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen this. Bet on myself 8 times, no trick, trust. Give me the loot. See now we going high stakes. This ain't clickbait. This a risk take. This no mistake. I was born to do it. I was born for music. I just get into it. I can't get influence when I'm the influence. No genre music. We go rap back to pop, pop back to rap. Country on the track. I was once broke. I was down bad. Swear I'm never going back. I'm from upstate where we see a little bit of this and some of that. Little city and some sticks. Watch me put it on the map, someone get attacked. If you're not first, you're last. Life is a race, don't you lag. I get a bag and I stack. The reason I tax was not cause they needed me. Got all of mine equally. I see what they need from me. Blood, sweat, and tears from the frequency. Now you believe in me. Cheers for me. Give me the loot. Might lose some battles, but winning the war. I get knocked down, I get back up, get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go toe to toe till I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen this. Bet on myself 8 times, no trick, trust. Give me the loot. Word on my palm at the top of the game. Still unashamed, no one to blame. Took all the L's and I rose from the pain. Can't have the sun without seeing the rain. And it rained down when the rain came. See the time change, rolling plain Jane. You and me are not the same, stop saying things. Yeah, they talk, I don't say a lot. I just walk, so I'm moving loud. Really keep it low key, I don't like crowds. Really keep it OG, I don't like clowns. Really keep it just me, I'm the best out. I don't try to keep up, I don't stress out. I don't cash no checks cause the checks bounce. I don't chat about that, I'm the best out. And I did all of this with a pen and a pad. Shift up the tech, got the notes in the lab. Remember the days when I want what I had. Still want more, guess I'm stuck in the past. First or your last. Fast lane, chuck up the deuce when I pass. Give me the loot. Might lose some battles, but winning the war. I get knocked down, I get back up, get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go toe to toe till I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen this. Bet on myself 8 times, no trick, trust. Give me the loot. Might lose some battles, but winning the war. I get knocked down, I get back up, get up and go, I stay ready for more.
Good morning. We're just sitting here chilling, waiting for the 8:30 NFT. Gotta wait on that. That comes out at 8:30 Eastern, so we'll see that here in about 12 minutes. 12 minutes. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic day. So Bitcoin had upside continuation yesterday. You have since smoked the liquidity up high, coming back into the old all-time high. Let's check out the news. This is what's expected. We got 139K last month. 110 is the forecast, so it's forecasting to come in lower than expected, and then it's forecasting to come in lower than last month. Sorry. If it comes in lower than 110, we could see further downside, but we don't know. We have to basically see how the market's going to react to the news. The thing that does kind of make it a little bit difficult is that it comes out a full hour before the market opens. And we have seen occasionally where we get a news and it's pretty easy to assess what we assume the market would do, and then the market opens at 9:30 and does the exact opposite, right? So we'll see what it does here. I'm not looking to make any moves before that. Everything is still pretty much the same. I mean, the ES has been going up. The futures today you're pulling back a little bit. You're red on the day currently. Oh no, you're not. Sorry, I was on the. You're barely up. But you've been going up on the ES futures 9 days in a row now. So a pullback could be happening today, or a breakout could be happening today. The VIX is trading at 1673. This is very important, as we tested the yearly opening range all week long. And 3 days in a row, we have rejected that price. So everything is looking like we could see it just take off to the upside. So a good news beat would probably have me bullish or looking for bullish entries. And Bitcoin has pulled back a little bit here for bullish entries. Fartcoin is already up 7% on the day. It's not going to be easy to long something that's already up 7% on the day. Boom absolutely flew yesterday. At one point, this thing was up almost 20%. 1761 was up 17.6%, testing June's VWAP. You can see today you've just basically been trading in a very tight range. I'll show you here in a sec. Sorry, I thought I had the mic turned off. It was on. BOEM is up almost 17% yesterday. It's barely up today, so maybe this is something we could look to attack. I don't like getting long this ahead of this June VWAP, and it might also be a short. This thing has been extremely weak all year. Here's your yearly candle. It's just a big down year. And June's close was bearish. And so far for July, we've already set a monthly low. Have we set the monthly high? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Currently trading just above the VWAP, and that's going to mark the daily open. BOEM is a very illiquid asset, so it is a little bit tedious to trade. And Fartcoin, the one we were kind of looking to catch the opportunity on for the majority of this week, it's just not really giving us that opportunity. It's trading well above the 786 of June's retracement, so I mean, clearly it's threatening the June highs. Wait, that's not the June highs. Why is that? Is that a week? Yeah, it's the bearish weekly. Got it. Okay, here's June. June highs up there. Wait, it is not threatening June highs. So there's a weekly high we could target, I guess. We already took out last week's high, and we're trading above weekly res. Could it reject from here? I mean, it could, absolutely. But it's not what I would expect on good news. On bad news, that's different, right? And some people are saying that the news is probably going to be bad. Based on some stuff we already got this week. The jolts. Jolts was actually higher, so I don't know if that would give them the idea. That's all we've gotten really this week. As far as risk assets go, Tesla's gapping slightly up. Apple, as of right now, would be gapping slightly down. Microsoft is about unchanged and Nvidia is unchanged. But Nvidia put in a higher close yesterday. It actually took out Wednesday's high. So here's what we got for Nvidia. We got 4 minutes until the news. Closed above Wednesday's high. And you can see pre-market you're unched. Pre-market Microsoft pretty much unched. And Apple would be gapping down slightly. We did buy Intel yesterday. And it's a little bit lower than where we bought it. We bought it yesterday around 11 o'clock, so it was up a little bit more. NQ currently rejecting intraday VWAP. 3 minutes till the news. Intraday support for Bitcoin would be the old all-time high. You do have the point of control coming in right here. So, I mean, if you wanted to be a buyer at the 109 area, I guess one could. I don't know why my news, the guy isn't warning us about the print. We haven't gotten the 1 minute warning yet, so maybe that's all it is. Either way, here we go. There's 1 minute. So this is not working for whatever reason. No squawk today. I'm going to have to watch the calendar for the news. All right, bone check, daily open, moving higher. $8.30. Haven't got anything yet. $147 coming in. That's going to be non-farm payrolls, so that's going to be good news. What do we got on unemployment? Come on, come on, come on. 4.2 or 4.1. What we're looking for. 147 is good. All right, Newsbot starting to print. So we got Initial jobless claims 233. 4-week average 241.5. U.S. continued jobless claims 196. So what's the market doing? The market's spiked on this news, but the crypto markets are pulling back. So Bitcoin might be tagging this old all-time high here. Let's see if it finds support down here. So I'm going to go up to Bitcoin and set a limit buy. Damn it. 109,430. 109,430. Yeah, 109,430 on the limit buy for Bitcoin. I am filled. I want to see this thing rip to the upside today. All-time high is setting at 112 exactly. And here is what the risk markets are doing. So I did get filled on a buy limit, but it's not going up. It's actually doing the opposite. This is the level that I want to see it hold as support. It's more or less, it's the old all-time high, but that intraday support right here is coming in just under it. Plus, that'd be about the midpoint of the daily range. I'm not liking that reaction there. We're also seeing a move higher on Tesla, Apple. Microsoft is actually going lower, and Nvidia is going higher. Let me go over here and look at some of these. Let's see what Bohm is doing. Bohm is going down to test the day open again. So it might be wanting to make a fresh low of day liquidation. Bitcoin breaking below support. Testing the last 4-hour candles open. It's making a fresh 4-hour candle low. So this is where I would want to see it hold support. So Bohm could be, we could potentially take a long on Bohm because it's a big mover, but it's not structured bullish. W is actually bearish on the day. We're not seeing a massive volume increase here either. So, I mean, I would like to buy this if it would show me continuation of heavy, at least volume, heavy volume. It's not showing us that. And maybe we could buy just a little bit. It's currently making fresh daily lows right now. Keeping an eye on Bitcoin up top. Because if it cuts loose to the downside, then we might have to wait till 9:30 to look for other opportunities. Or we could just see the market fade this news. But I mean, could they fade it because it's been going up all week? Yeah, they could, right? All right, fresh low of day on BOEM USD. Excuse me. I do not understand why I've got so many frogs in my throat this morning. And it's dropping. Not loving that. I'm going to exit that Bitcoin long for now because it's just dropping. Could be pulling back. I hate shorting when everything is so strong, especially in front of good news, but they could literally just use that good news to just smoke the market all day. We'll see how it acts on the open. We still got almost an hour before the market opens. So whatever happens right now could be faded. I just wanted to get a small order on Bitcoin just in case it bounced like immediately. We didn't get that. Getting creamed already. First trade of the day is no go. Let's see what the others are doing here. Pepe pushing down. W pushing down. So you made a fresh daily low and you're getting downside continuation. Jasmy is extremely weak. And it's pushing much lower. Bitcoin testing the daily open. Oh, here's a trend line. This is that trend line. It did break out above it yesterday. Right through there. Check liquidation levels. So white hot liquidity setting at 108,315. Damn, that would be almost 1,000 points away. That's basically right there at that weekly open. It says daily open, but that's a weekly open. That's your weekly open right here. So if Bitcoin gets down to there today, I think I would be comfortable buying that. I'm not going to take too many chances on this, though. I don't want to get stopped out multiple times. And it sucks that my news guy is not talking. Let me close it and open it again. The other day I was experiencing technical difficulties on this as well. Gold coming off slightly today. That should be good for Bitcoin as well. So this is that trend line, and you're going to see it right here. Intraday VWAP, where are you going to be setting? Way up there. Bitcoin's low of day is going to be putting you down around the weekly open, so we'll wait for that. VIX is trading at the low of day. So I still like Bitcoin to the upside. Good morning to everybody. Good mornings. What's up? 4.1 unemployment. Yeah, that's good numbers. Really good. But the thing is has it already priced all that in for this week? I don't know. Weird divergence between crypto markets and equities. Well, not necessarily, because what I've noticed in my experience is Bitcoin usually does the move first, because Bitcoin is a more risky asset than regular risk assets. So if the market is going to sell off, we will sometimes see Bitcoin sell off ahead of time, like slightly before. So that big, gigantic bullish spike that you got on risk markets, I don't know if you're going to see upside continuation from that. Like I said, you've been going up for 9 days straight. It does seem like at some point you would expect a pullback. But we aren't, we will be now if we gap up, which we likely will if we close, or if we're trading around where we are right now on the ES, you will gap up into this top edge of the expected move. But in a bull market, I expect those to hold. I don't expect these to hold. I don't expect the resistance to come in at those areas. And you're trading well above the all-time high on this. Also trading well above the all-time high on the cash market. We just opened this 4-hour candle on Bitcoin. So this could end up being a bullish engulfing. Coming back down to that supply zone, demand zone, you could potentially look for an entry there. 108.884. On weeks, that price is 108.799. 108.799. I'll try another small trade there. Yeah, I do look at equities all the time. If you guys just have to tell me what you're looking at. We're currently long Pepsi, and we're currently long excuse me. We are currently long Pepsi, and where did it go? Intel, there it is. So these two equities we are long. You want to look at what? SoFi. Bitcoin testing 4-hour demand again. It looks good long term. It's trying to break out right now. You did get a breakout with strong volume on that day, but the next day was downside continuation. So I think this might, as long as this candle's close holds, I like it higher because you're threatening the highs. So anybody that shorted on this day or this day is going to be, that position's going to be under threat. But it does look like with the volume signature and the reaction that it was a lot of profit taking. Anytime you have a lot of profit taking like that, then you can absolutely see pullbacks. But the question is, did the buyers show back up down here? The volume doesn't tell us that they did, but the price action says that they could have. So I don't know if you're going to see much more demand above this price. Oh, it's not even an all-time high. It's just a long-term high. So all-time high was set way back in 2021. So this is just a near-term swing high that it's trying to break out above. It's clearly bullish. I mean, I don't need to look at my indicators to see that, but your RSI is overbought. Your 21's going to be underpriced. It's going to be the case on the weekly as well. There's your weekly. So it's super bullish. There's nothing I can do. Would I short it based on the liquidation break? Not really. I tend to want to do those on the day of, like the day of. So if I was going to be looking for the liquidation break, I would have been watching it on this day. In a sense, just waited for price to trade back under that price. But that didn't happen until 2 o'clock in the day. So this might not have been anything for me. Oh, it did give you a fantastic opportunity on a retest the next day. So that would have been a good opportunity for the short. If it's going to be the short, right? But it only lasted one day and it's threatening right now to break that. Bitcoin was so bullish yesterday on literally no news. It was just super bullish. And this is why I hate big moves the day before the news. I much would prefer a small range bound day before the news, because then you can watch the previous day's low or the previous day's high for a breakout or breakdown trade based on news. Right now we got nothing. We just had a super strong day yesterday for no freaking reason at all. And today you're going to have a super bearish day. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Liquidation heat maps down. You got white hot liquidity down to 108,315. So that would be around the weekly open. So that could be what it's looking to do. It could be looking to push down into here, liquidate all of that liquidity, all of this white hot liquidity, and then bounce. But we don't know that it's going to be bullish today. This thing could be a bearish engulfing daily candle. And we have to be cautious for that. It doesn't seem like it would be. Everything has been so bullish. I mean, the fact that gold's even rolled over today looks like we would be wanting to see upside continuation. You have the dollar extremely bullish today. Look at that move on gold. been playing around this level, but ultimately it did break down. I mean, that's a strong breakdown right there. Right back under the daily 21. So we made ourselves some bull traps. I'll be right back. I gotta walk into the other room for a second. All right, I'm back. So, I mean, if we go look at, I don't think the weak dollar is going to have, or the strong dollar today is going to have much of an effect on Bitcoin, because it really hasn't been of late trading inversely to the dollar. And we can take a look at that. We'll just compare the DXY to Bitcoin. And you can see that it really hasn't been trading inversely or correlated even. So you're not inversely correlated and you're not correlated. It's just doing its own thing. The dollar's been in a consistent downtrend. Bitcoin's was in a nice consistent uptrend, but here for the last, since May, we've been trading sideways. Remember, we're an inside month on Bitcoin right now. It looks good on the monthly, but you're trading inside of May's range. So, I mean, there are a ton of levels that we can get rid of off this chart. You're trading. Here, let's get rid of weekly res. Let's get rid of the week open. That's not last week's high, so we'll get rid of that. Oh, wait, it might be last week's high. Yeah, it was last week's high. We don't need last week's high. We need the weekly open. We need June's open. We need July's open. We need the all-time high. The old all-time high, might not need that, but it is clearly acting as resistance. So I think it's okay to leave on the chart. You got a weekly res setting right where price is. Okay. We got a 2-week resistance level up here. So let's do that instead of the old all-time high, because that's literally where price is trading right now. And this is good. This is either going to help our long, because we got long, set a limit buy again at 4-hour demand here, because you got confluence of 4-hour demand in that trend line. And this is really good news. Since the job market is coming down, that literally could indicate that the Fed could cut interest rates as early as July the 30th. Because we have a Fed interest rate, or an FOMC. We have an FOMC meeting this month, January the 30th. July the 30th. What is wrong with me? July the 30th. So the 30th of this month, we'll see another FOMC. And then September is when they're expected to cut. So September is what is holding all of that probability for the cut. Now that we got a good jobs number, maybe we see that change starting next week, maybe the markets start pricing in higher probabilities of a potential cut in July. And I honestly think we would get upside continuation from that. I think the market started to price in the rate cuts right in through here. All of this move, I think it was the market pricing in the rate cut. Then we had a period of consolidation here that lasted for a few days, and then boom, yesterday, just upsy daisy. We liquidated the previous day's low and up we go, right? That's what we got yesterday. It don't make much sense that we would see something like that, and then on top of that get really good news today and then see Bitcoin sell off all day. Doesn't make any sense to me. So I do want to be long. Plus, it's just super bullish. You're right now testing what would be considered extreme bullish momentum. The ATR is slowly going lower. That is what we'd expect in a bull market. And we expect the VIX to trend lower. And we're getting that. Right? It's rejecting the yearly open and it's starting to trade away from the level. This is the opposite of bullish. Now, the VIX, let me be clear, the VIX is the opposite or inversely traded to the S&P, not Bitcoin. The Bitcoin doesn't have a volatility index yet, but I assume it will. I assume Bitcoin will have a publicly traded volatility meter eventually. Once they make it a law to where fund managers can basically tell people that they should allocate a portion of their portfolios, their retirement, into Bitcoin ETFs, then eventually they may also make a volatility index for Bitcoin. So until we get a volatility index for Bitcoin, the VIX is the next best thing. Because if risk markets are bullish, then we expect Bitcoin overall to be bullish. Of course, it's going to trade under its own merit, under its own fundamentals and its own news. But overall, in general, if risk is bullish, we want Bitcoin to also be bullish. And that's what we're seeing. So there's no point to look for the short on Bitcoin. If you absolutely must short today, I think you're better off shorting a weaker altcoin. Let's go look at the dominance. You should not be like absolutely needing to take a short today. Based on, sorry about that. You should not have to take a short today based on how we basically were looking for a short all week and got killed, right? Or not got killed, but it didn't work. Bitcoin dominance is also trading down. So, I mean, that's going to help alt strength more than it would hurt it. I mean, maybe one of these alts that are getting wrecked, BSW. Pendle is bearishly structured still, but it's fighting to reclaim the 50. Fartcoin broke above the 50 and is trading above it. Yeah, Pendle down and structured bearish. Jasmy is weak. W is testing the 50 and it's testing the June VWAP. The only reason W is on the watch list is because it got unusual volume in the last week or two, but it's losing that unusual volume. It's losing it. So it looks like whatever interest people had in this, they are slowly losing it, but it is testing a support zone, an area that we would expect to hold as support. So W is actually structured nice for a long here today. Let's see if we can find one. Sorry, I was looking at something else. I mean, the July open would have been the optimal place to look for the long entry. Bitcoin, we got to be careful here because Bitcoin is trading up into 4-hour supply. So just like this demand would potentially call or bring on buyers, this supply will also bring on sellers. There's just too many retail traders that talk about those things. You're going to see people trying to sell here. Also, Bitcoin's intraday VWAP is going to act as potential resistance. Risk markets trading back to the upside. Yeah, everything looks good. Nvidia gapping back up. You can see Microsoft is starting to be a gap up here. Apple is trying to reclaim the gap down, and Tesla slightly gapping up. So these look good for upside continuation. We just don't know if the market's going to sell off at the open. I think the safer bet, though, as of right now, is still to the upside. Let's mark that 4-hour demand. And the ADD, of course, we won't have any info on that till the market opens. So we're just kind of waiting. We got a lot of greed in the market here on both crypto and the stock market. You're setting above 70. It doesn't make sense that Bitcoin would get such a strong bullish reaction off of that 50 and 21 test and then not see upside follow through. But you know just as well as I know, the higher you get or the closer you get to old all-time highs, the more and more supply comes in the market, where you have long-term hodlers selling, taking profits. You've got top pickers trying to pick the top. There's just an influx of supply. It looks really good, though. It's literally set up to run. It looks really good to run. To me. Just the way it looks. It doesn't mean it will. Had a rough night last night. Hopefully everybody else is having a good day. Read that. WLDUSDT. Let's go take a look. We will not be streaming as long as we did yesterday. We'll stream maybe 30 minutes after the open, maybe a little bit longer than that, but it ain't gonna be going up into noon. So this is another one that is bearish on the year. So my overall bias long term would be bearish. You were also bearish last month, but you held at support, and there's something that can be said for that, because the buyers showed back up so far because they defended monthly support. This is going to be your monthly support until broken with a monthly close. So right now, this could literally be just setting a July high if it's going to remain weak. And then for potential levels to watch for downside scalps would be your fib levels. Still got a lot to go up there. I guess we could mark June's as well, since we're trading back inside of June's range. Okay, so you're trading inside July and June's VWAP, so the June VWAP could act as resistance as well. And you liquidated last week's high. So to be honest with you, as long as you're trading below last week's high, I think I would have to be bearish on this. If you're trading above it, I don't know that I would be bearish. Because as long as you're trading above it, that means that demand is coming in at a higher price on this. But a rejection of last week's high signals weakness. And since it's structured weak overall, then I would like it lower. But like I said earlier, as long as everything else in the market is so bullish, by trying to short, you're trying to basically short. You're trying to short into a strong market. Even though this particular asset is weak overall, people are just going to be buying these things up hand over fist because a lot of retail has missed. Let's be honest, they have missed this rally. So how do you capitalize on something that's already moved? Well, you don't. You go find something else. And I think a lot of interest is drying up on a lot of alts as well. But there was a little bit of volume in it yesterday. Are we seeing above average volume in this? No, we're not. If anything, I would say you're trading below average. maybe not average way back early 2024, but definitely 2025's averages. You've seen an uptick in volume on the up day, but that doesn't mean anything. It could be mixed, both buyers and sellers. So yeah, I mean, as long as you're trading below 0.959, I could be short. But if you're trading above that, I would not want to be holding a short position. You're not really threatening anything except for this week's high, but you just set that today. I mean, clearly there's going to be people with stop losses above today's high. But you got to get all the way up to 102 to threaten, to find deeper or thicker liquidity. And then June's high is way up there. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It might just need a couple more days. Like if Bitcoin actually ends up being really bullish today and puts in a bullish engulfing, and this is still weak, then I think you would be safe in looking to short it. Because something like this, right? Even though we've seen a very strong week on some of these things, this actually it got sold off right as soon as it made fresh daily high. Yesterday. So this was weak when everything else was strong. Everything else was strong pre-market. This was weak going into the open. Then after noon, it picked up strength, made a fresh daily high. This would have been your daily high up until this point when you liquidated it. But then you sold off. You never threatened the daily high again once you made it. Look at this. You literally made that fresh daily high, rejected the very next candle, and then never closed a 5-minute candle higher. So if you would have shorted this yesterday, you would have been in good shape just by watching that 5-minute close. And then it just started slowly migrating right back down to nothing. And that's where you currently are right now. Like, this is just weak, even though the rest of the crypto market's up. So I would say this was probably a massive short rally, a short covering rally. You've taken out the low of that candle. So anybody that bought in here today on that day, they are probably out. Since you're not getting a bullish reaction from that today after the liquidation, I mean, you're right there. So if buyers come back in, I would assume they would come back in here, right? To set a higher low or to defend the higher low. So if there was news or something in this that caused the up spike, then maybe those buyers come back. But I do not love it. Do not love it because it's just been inherently weak. So I don't know if your L or WLD is going to react like this or not. So I would just say, yeah, as long as you're defending the previous week's high, I could sell it. That or the 50% retracement of June's range. And June, so something I like about this, as far as for the short, you're not trading inside. Well, you're trading inside of May's range now, but you did break out above it, right? You broke well out above May's range, whereas a lot of other things are just trading as an inside and have not broken out. This one actually did and rejected the higher prices. So that could also give you a little bit more downside continuation. I like it for the short, just maybe not today, but eventually, for sure. Does this one trade good? Let me go look up on weeks. Let me get you up there. That's how it adds up. Right here's the 3 days. And then you're just starting today. So you'll have 3 8-hour candles in today's session. This one closes in 2 hours. You'll have a new one, and then that 8-hour period will run until the end of day. Just pay attention to that stuff when you're taking shorts. Make sure you're on the right side of the market, the overall trend. And then, your shorts are going to obviously work a lot better when the overall crypto market is bearish. What's up, crypto or Bitcoin Jedi? What's up, my friend? Yeah, I'm all right. It wasn't health-wise or anything, just a little bit of drama. How about ETH? Yeah, let's go look at ETH while we're waiting for the open. Looks like ETH did pretty good yesterday. Trying to get that. So ETH had a big strong day just like Bitcoin yesterday. Literally had a 2 standard deviation move. So, if dominance stays weak and Bitcoin stays strong today, I don't see any reason why ETH couldn't have continuation to the upside. As far as where would I be looking to take a trade on Ethereum, that's a little bit more difficult. You're still trading inside of this week, but you're well over the 786. So I would like to target the previous week's or this week's high for bullish positions. So maybe weekly res 2547 holds a support. You also have that same supply or demand candle that we have for Bitcoin at 2571. Yeah. So with what we got on the news, like the NFP, as far as I'm concerned, it should be bullish. But we don't know how the market will react to that news. It was pretty bullish for the majority of the week, so they could use this because everybody's going to know it's good news. And since everything was so bullish yesterday and you are a small range today, people are going to be looking to enter, right? They missed the move yesterday, so they want to enter it today. If you're not holding at the 4-hour demand candle, then you have to give it room down to that weekly res. And if you fail there, then I would wait for a deeper correction and wait for support to come in. Because right now, we just made fresh all-time highs on NASDAQ for the news. And we made fresh all-time highs on ES. But both of them are heading back up. Both of them are heading back up. So what I would love to see today is I would love to see all 4 of these assets just remain bullish today. I would love to see this thing open up above 1500. And if that's the case, then I don't see why you couldn't see an uptrending day again today. You do not have that supply candle like you do on Bitcoin. You don't really have that supply candle. they'll still treat that last 4-hour close as kind of like a supply zone, but it wouldn't fit the technical definition of one, if that makes sense. But the point of control is right there too. I mean, I can see short sides. I can see sellers attacking the point of control. That's this 4-hour candle's open. Generally decent spots to look for shorts. If the market's going to remain bearish. You can see how they tacked it right there. So you kind of need to break out above that and then start closing 5-minute candles higher to force anybody that just took the short based on point of control and last 4-hour closure, those people to get liquidated. Fartcoin struggling to get anything going. Same can be said for Pendle. Same can be said for Bone, but Bone could be setting in a higher low here. If you want to get real granular, really small, then 1625, I wouldn't want to see a 1-minute close below that if I thought this was going to be a higher low. Not seeing volume signature down here confirm that, but yeah, it didn't really. I don't like this heavy volume here. I mean, we got that on Bitcoin as well, but they're shorting that intraday VWAP on Bitcoin. VWAP. The VWAP. The VWAP. Any thoughts on SBET or BMNR? Are you talking about the stock? Well, I don't like it. I mean, you got a big spike because of this split. And I would assume this is probably a low float stock. So, I mean, people just basically, it's probably a reverse split. And they basically just hammered it. The reason I'm saying it's probably a reverse split is because you're so cheap already. I mean, yeah, I don't love this. Maybe you're talking about a crypto. Let me go see if there's a USDT associated with this. There is. So you're probably talking about the crypto. Look, I can trade it on Weeks. Weeks is stepping up in the world. Let's go. Well, is there a perpetual swap contract on Binance? No. There's not much data, so this thing hasn't been trading for a full year. Like, not even it's just been trading for 1 month, so there's not a whole lot for me to give you here. Data-wise, other than it's bearish. Sure, you spiked the last day, couple days, but so is everything. We just made fresh all-time highs on the risk markets. This is good for our Bitcoin holding. So far, so good. Tesla pulling back on the open. Microsoft setting a high of day and then starting to pull back to the open. Microsoft gapping up strong. Nvidia now looking good. We got a 629 on the ADD, which is your advanced decline line. Let's go check our market watch. It's pretty mixed, but tech is up pretty good. Check the index. Index is structured bullish. So in the 100 biggest companies in the S&P 500, 70 of them, or 65 now, are bullish and 32 are bearish. So that looks pretty good. FedEx is up nicely today. Meta is up nicely. Oracle's up nicely. Palantir. None of your big boys are up nicely. Apple needs to go up nicely. If we can get Apple and Microsoft both to go up nicely, that's going to help our positions. Bitcoin currently pushing higher. Getting that pamp. That opening bell pamp. So our Bitcoin trade is looking pretty good. There's your pamp on Bitcoin from the opening bell. I'll keep you posted. What was your other one? Yeah, I'll look at Riot here in a little bit. Let's just keep our eyes on Bitcoin for now because that's where we're long. On the intraday scalp. For any new people that are just joining us, I do hold spot Bitcoin long as far as in a cold storage wallet, but we're day traders here. That's why you see such a high opening position on the 4-hour chart. I took it down here when it retested 4-hour demand. I took it once earlier and got out because it just kept pushing lower, but then I took it again here. So you have a descending trend line coming in here from the all-time high. We broke out above that yesterday, retested it, got a bullish reaction, so we wanted to see if this 4-hour candle was going to end up being a bullish engulfing 4-hour candle. Coming in on a 4-hour demand retest. Plus your weekly open is right here. So if Bitcoin wants to see upside continuation for the rest of the week, we definitely want to see it staying above the weekly open. And overall risk markets look good for upside continuation. Can we enter on W? I mean, you could have if you would have entered like on the July open. This is the same level we've had on W for multiple days. So this level should have been on your chart already by now, right? I don't know if I would want to enter now. You can if you think it's going to have an upside momentous move. Watch the 9:30 open. If you're trading under that, you have to be aware that you could be going back down to trigger on day low and liquidation. So if this price holds it at support or acts as support, meaning you don't trade back under it, then yeah, you could see a potential move higher in W. Remember, when you ask me, can we take entries on things, you're You're asking me if I know what price is going to do. I don't. I can only give you my long-term and near-term analysis, and then you have to be the judge of if you want to enter that trade or not. Do you feel as if, though, the probabilities are on your side strong enough to put you in a trade on this? W was on our watch list because it was getting a spike in volume relative to its usual volumes. But that volume has since fallen off. I like that it has fallen off in a pullback scenario. But overall, this thing is still structured bearishly. The only good thing that you have going for it right now is it's trading above the July open and it's trading above the June VWAP. So those are both good things, but we don't know if higher volume is going to come back in it or not. If it does, I do expect it to go higher. But if you fail and you start closing dailies back under this blue line, this VWAP, then I would give up on the long. That's just me. But it looks okay. It could get some momentum because it didn't get the momentum that everything else had yesterday. Like Bone was up 17% yesterday at one point. So maybe this will cause higher than normal volumes. And that would be very good for W. But obviously I cannot see into the future and I can't tell you that is going to happen. But if you want to put risk on, make sure you're risking an amount of money that you can afford to lose. And watch the 7205 level. Getting a nice push on risk. Pushing up nicely here, but it's still early. I do like that it's a lot higher than the previous day high on both NASDAQ and ES. If it was just going to be a liquidation and puke, which I'm not expecting because we got good news on the NFP print, then I don't necessarily think you would have to go up a full 10 points. But you can. You absolutely can. The news was very good. I mean, it beat expectations. I won't say it was very good, but it beat expectations and it beat last month's prints. Since everything is structured bullish, we're looking for bullish trades this morning. If we got good news. If we got bad news, we were going to be looking for bearish trades, but we got good news. If you only are a short side trader, if you can only take sell side positions, then you want to short the weaker of the alts. W is clearly one of the weak ones as it's red on the day. It's down 1.4%. What else is down on the day? BSW is down on the day, but I wouldn't short this because it's down on the lows. And it's been trending lower for multiple days in a row. So you could be shorting into a very bad place. W could still work out for the short. It's just, it's above the June VWAP. We don't have enough days in July to really look at the July VWAP. But it does kind of look like you're going to be above that as well. So you're even above that. Ooh, that's coming in right perfectly with that 9:30 opening bell as well. We're pulling back significantly on NASDAQ. So I'm going to take profits on the Bitcoin long, just so that way I can make some cash today. I'm going to take profit at 109,900. Since 630 was my entry, it's a lot lower than I would normally want to take profits, but NASDAQ is pulling back pretty good here. I guess it's going to be based on Microsoft and Nvidia. Nvidia is setting a fresh daily low right now. But it was a gap up. Nvidia trading, opening above your high day close of 157.73. 157.75, sorry. So I'm not gonna jump out of it just yet. I want to see if Nvidia can hold support here as it's filled the gap. Let's see if it can fill the gap and go. Fill the gap and go. Bitcoin is so positioned nice to absolutely make a 4-hour engulfing bullish candle. I think it's going to be important to see what Nvidia and Microsoft does. Not real. I mean, Apple is part of the big three, but it's been struggling. So if Apple were to get like extremely bullish, like Microsoft and Nvidia are, because both Microsoft and Nvidia are trading at all-time highs, then the ES would get a lot more bullish. Also, the rest of the market is kind of holding it back. But you can see today you're testing the yearly opening range on the IWM. I would not be a buyer on this first test. This is the first time you're testing the yearly opening range on IWM since you broke down back in February. So I would expect some profit taking to come in here from anybody that got long the yearly open of 2024. You could see a pullback day on IWM. So if you're looking for downside shorts on IWM, please be alert to the fact that if it does pull back, it is likely just going to be a pullback. As the probabilities are, it goes higher. There's a lot of chop here from way back when. So I'll let you be the judge of that. It's just, these are typically good areas to look for shorts when the markets are not super strong. I don't like shorting things when the overall market is super heavily bullish. But you can see people shorting it. Looks like Pepsi pulled back slightly. Intel's up a little bit. The trades that we took. So it's getting a nice little pop here this morning. And then Pepsi's pulling back, but Pepsi has already hit our profit target. This green line down here was our profit target on Pepsi. So we're $2 above that. What's GLD doing this morning? Got a nice move lower on the NFP news. Let's see if this 618 can hold as resistance. Let me check. Okay. Yeah, I would like to see that 618 hold his resistance. If it is going to pull back slightly. Nice. Pulling back off the July open. Profit taking commencing. Bitcoin's about to make a fresh high of day. Price to beat on high of day, 110, 290. 110, 300. All right, pulling back on the highs. Yeah, they're the new Ethereum treasury companies. Gotcha. And that he's talking about SBET and BMNR. I never did look at BMNR. Let me go look at it for you. And since he said Ethereum treasury companies, that's going to be a stock, not the crypto. And it's looking strong. I don't know why. I guess it's because Ethereum is experiencing a pump the last few days. This looks like it really just started trading not too long ago. And really started trading on Monday. Yeah, you're probably going to see an outsized moves in these things. So like if your Ethereum goes down 1%, how much will that affect this? We can go see what Ethereum is up right now and get a measurement. So Ethereum is currently up 2.71%. And this is up 14%. So it's literally like 7 times levered. 7 times. Something like this can really, really, really do good or do really bad for you, depending on what side of the trade you're on and it takes. But I mean, there's just not enough data for me to analyze it. It's literally up. It's just up. You're not going to be able to get many levels. You're going to be able to get a July open and a June open, and you're going to have a significant gap down here. So yeah, be careful. This thing moves. Does it trade with options? No options. Oh, this is spot price only. Bitcoin just made fresh high day. Beautiful. So we bought it down here and we've gotten our upside expansion. So now our profits are looking a lot better. You should probably take profits if you bought that this morning. Risk markets are still pushing up. Apple is up, Microsoft is up, and Nvidia is up. So, I mean, we're not really seeing any weakness come in here just yet. VIX is about mid-range. So VIX moving up. So this could be a little bit concerning if it doesn't roll back over. This could hinder Bitcoin from continuing to make fresh daily highs. But it's still early in the session. Let me go look at Riot before I forget, while Bitcoin is actually working in our favor. So I don't know what this is. I don't necessarily need February's open either. Or March, or either of these. June way down here. So I mean, all of June was a nice move. You're coming into monthly res on Riot. It's going to be November's close. $2024 yearly opening range, well above. And then 2023's closing price. So for now, that monthly res is what's holding price. And then your next potential significant resistance would be 1547. If you're long already, I don't see any reason to close it. If your position is up significantly and you're sweating it rolling over from here, then obviously you should take profits. You should pay yourself for taking on that risk. Right? You should pay yourself for taking on the risk. But if it's a long-term hold and it's an insignificant amount of money in your portfolio, then I wouldn't do anything with it. I would just hold it. Because if Bitcoin breaks out here in the next month or this month, so on and so forth, we could see it really rip, and you don't want to miss out on that. I don't know how much upside pressure would put on this with Bitcoin. But clearly, if Bitcoin's ripping above all-time highs, I do not want to be selling any of my Bitcoin sympathy trades in Riot, Mara, MicroStrategy, SPRK, ClearSpark, all CleanSpark, whatever. All of those things are considered Bitcoin sympathy plays. All of those should perform well if Bitcoin's ripping through all-time highs. I'm not expecting Bitcoin to do that today, clearly, but I am expecting it to do it starting sometime this year, if not this month. I could literally see July printing fresh all-time highs at some point this month. Just probably not today. It's got a lot of supply to chew through. Risk is ripping. We just liquidated the top side of the white hot liquidity on Bitcoin. So taking profits on that intraday scalp, not a bad idea. Yeah. See, when we don't try to short a strong market, trades tend to work out just better, right? Trying to short strong markets, trades just do not work out as good because you got so much bullish momentum across the board. And then even your tiniest, most garbage altcoin gets a big sympathy bounce, like Bohm up 17% yesterday. And then people trying to short the top all day long, just getting ran over and over again. I do not miss those days when I used to do the same thing. So yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for on the riot. You were talking about the stocks. Yeah, I figured out once I read the rest of your comment, once I seen that you were doing it from the Ethereum Treasury Company, I realized then and there that you were talking about the stock. So I will go and check the stock price of the original one, the S-Bet. But it just didn't look good, right? Oh no, this one did look good. This was the one that looked, yeah, I wasn't looking at it on log. On log, it looks absolutely terrible. But it's a small cap. This one's a small cap. Let me check out how many shares outstanding. It's got 62 million, so it's not a low float. Not a lot of outstanding shares, so it is definitely not a low float. I mean, it doesn't look great. It's given back a lot of its gains. But if it holds the open, it's real good. I would want to see support hold at the July open, especially if Bitcoin and Ethereum are staying bullish. I would want to see this also stay bullish. So, I mean, you could potentially be an intraday scalper at yesterday's close if it holds. But I don't know how much Ethereum this holds. Like, how much Ethereum do they even own? I know there's a website for you to check that kind of stuff. I tried to use the website. I could never get a password or a sign in. Like, I tried to use it and it never sent me my login link. So I got off of it. But if you're wanting to do this kind of a trade, what's the name of that guy's YouTube channel? Here, I'll find it over here. Give me a second. Invest Answers is his. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. It was Moss, wasn't it? What's his name? Mark Moss. Right here.
Big retailers don't want you to have this zoom lens.
I'll put this in the chat for anybody that wants to watch this video. He goes in depth and gives you the info that you need as far as if you're interested in trading Bitcoin treasury stocks. You're probably going to be late on a lot of them. And one thing that I noticed is there's not many that are traded in the US. Like, the best one would be MicroStrategy. And clearly everybody's known about that for a long time. Now he has a new one, STRK. This is also a MicroStrategy Bitcoin thing. So, yeah. But that video, it's, if you want to watch it, you can watch it. And he gives you the website and everything, where you can, and what metrics to track to see if you're even looking at a good one of these companies to buy based on whether or not it's going to outperform. Like a lot of the ones that people were asking, the one ticker that people were asking me to look for 2 days ago or yesterday, I specifically remember that one not being a great, because it's a medical company more than it is a blockchain or a Bitcoin play. So you just gotta pick the right ones. But he seems to think alt season is probably never going to have the impact that it used to have, based on that. Based on people are investing billions of dollars into the Bitcoin treasury companies and not alts anymore. And I can see where they're coming from when people have that take, because if you look across the board, all alts are suffering massively when you look at them compared to Bitcoin. There might be 10 or 15 that are outperforming Bitcoin, if you can find even that many. 95% of altcoins are getting absolutely wrecked when compared to the price of Bitcoin. Compared to the US dollar, even most of them are getting wrecked. We could see a spike here if we do get that liquidation above this swing high, as that is June's high. Working out nice. Let's see if we can get that spike above the June high. Looking good. Risk markets are still looking good. Shooting up to the moon. Let's go look at SPX and see how far above the yearly opening range or weekly expected move we are. So we're pretty good above it. This is your weekly expected move. So a lot of people were shorting this. These are not areas to look for shorts. In a bullish market, you tend to want to be a buyer on pullbacks. We never got a pullback this week. So clearly this week we couldn't buy the S&P. But you never want to short these green lines expecting it to roll over there in a bullish market. In a bearish market, you can. Like right here, market's bearish each week. Right there would have been a fantastic place to look for shorts. That's your weekly expected move back then, because the market was bearish. Look at this. Your weekly expected move also comes in perfectly with the 50 on the RSI. Also, that was January for 2025's low. The January low. Right there. What a fabulous, fabulous place for short side entries. But the difference is you're in a bull market now, not a bear market. So you need to be a buyer at supports. But here, let's get rid of all this stuff. we'll keep that as that is a gap. Let's get rid of March. Okay, that's about as good as I can do. Let's get rid of March. Yeah, I mean, since we've been bullish, there's only been one opportunity to buy the weekly expected range low, and that was right here. It was a Monday. We did buy that, by the way. We bought it. It came in on a Monday. Got close to it there, but no cigar. Close here. So that would have been... We could have bought that based on old daily res. Could have bought this off of old daily res. Here's your daily res. Price stayed above it, and it stayed above the weekly expected range. So that's typically what we're looking to do in a bull market. Buy the low edge of the weekly expecteds, not short the upper edge. Hassan, I don't know, man. You're like, again, you're asking me if you can take a long on W now. Again, I don't know what it's going to do. How can I tell you to take a long on something? I don't know what it's going to do. It's still above 930s open and Bitcoin's ripping, and so is the overall market. But like I said, W is not experiencing a significant increase in volume, which is what you need to see. So here, look, your average volume. I don't know if you know this or not, but on TradingView, you can right or left click and hold it, and it'll show you this window. And it gives you your open, high, low, and close of every single candle you hover over and the amount of volume. So you can come back here and see that your volume is what, roughly around 45 to 50 million. So today you're above average volume, right? You are above average. So, I mean, if you look at it compared to yesterday, though, I'd say you're on track. So yesterday, this 4-hour candle had 39 million traded. Right now, you have 13 million. So you're about on track. There's still an hour and 50 left, but we know that as the New York session progresses, the volume will go lower. So you're just not seeing an increase in volume. We saw an increase in volume here, which is, what you kind of want to see at the July open. So it does look okay. But moving on throughout the day, you're going to be hyper-focused on your daily or your monthly VWAP here. Your July volume weighted average price and the 930 open. If it's going to stay bullish, you should not push under 7248. So you could potentially look for an entry there at 7248. But where are you going to mitigate your risk? If you get in with a small position size and use dynamic risk management, then you can buy it with like a 25% position size, like 25% of what you normally would take the trade with. So if you would normally open the trade with $200, use a $50 opening position at 72.48. This way, if it continues to push down, you can exit and lose way less than 1%. But if it continues to move higher, then you can add, say, $100 on the push up, and then that will raise your cost basis. But at the same time, if momentum is going to push it up, then you should be okay. But I don't know that that's going to happen. So I will never be able to tell you if you can or cannot take a trade. I'm just teaching. My goal is to teach you how to analyze price the way that I do. So that way you don't have to ask me or anybody else ever again if there's a trade to take. You will just know the way that I know. I don't know that the trade is going to work. I just know it's an area where I'm okay to put on risk. So Bitcoin is currently rejecting the high of day. The new high of day. Same thing here. I don't want to see Bitcoin lose the midpoint of this 30-minute candle, but I don't even like that. That's too deep into my entry. My entry's down here. My entry is literally the bottom tick almost of this candle. So if it just gets back down to the open of this candle, I'm going to lose half of my unrealized gains. And it won't look so bullish anymore after that, because once it gets to this point, this candle turns red. And if this candle turns red after it's already taken out the low and high of the previous candle, then you have a bearish engulfing candle. Yeah. We do expect pullbacks, though, of course. We do expect pullbacks. All right. I don't really like them that much, to be honest. They dilute way more than MicroStrategy does. Yeah, that's the problem with some of those. Not all of them are going to be good. There's going to be, I mean, he, in that video that I gave you guys the link to, he literally tells you how to, basically what data points you need to focus on to get involved or not get involved in those things. Because like everything else, right, there's going to be a lot of cheap ones that you shouldn't even get involved in. I never did mark that candle's open. So it's just right here. I want to see this hold. It's a good thing that the intraday volume weighted average price is pushing up to there, but you had several bullish candles in a row on intraday risk. Pepsi still pulling back. I might close that out today just because I got my move. It's way above profit. Let it catch up to the 21 exponential and then maybe look for new longs later on down the road. See if it can hold this today. If it holds this, I won't exit it. If we lose this, then I will. because as long as it remains above this green line, then my profit target was hit, and I'm good with taking profits there. Because we bought it down here. We had a nice expansion up. And then the Intel trade is just going to be a set and wait. This thing moves so slow. Even if you get a nice move on it, it don't move. 21.39 up to 23. That's $2. Very slow moving stock. Is there anything else that you guys see that might be a setup for us on the stock side of the... Let's see if we got any signals here. We'll run through these rather quickly, or as quickly as I can. Procter & Gamble might be a short. Let me see what we got here on the all chart pattern. See if anything pulls up. Lots of stuff. It's pretty much mixed. You've got 3 upside targets, you got 3 downside targets. But I mean, I'm not taking it based off the patterns. I just want to see what patterns the algo is showing, so that way I can see what retail's looking at. If I was going to short it, would be based off of what it's actually doing right now. Where is my yearly open? There it is. Ooh, yeah, we had a pretty good downside move from June. Notice how you have a triple bottom here? That this would be the target. If we were to short it today, right now, that would be about a $4 move. So let me go look on the options chain and see if this is something for us to take. What are we going for? PG. Ooh, no, it's too spready. It's too spready on the put side. That's a $4.10 on the ask and a $2.82 bid. That's way more than 10 cents. That's 30 days out. So that'll get worse the further you go out. And don't like it. Moving on. AU might be a buy here, but that's only going to be dependent on what gold does. I'm liking gold to continue to pull back today, as long as the dollar stays strong. If the dollar stays strong, I like gold lower. Man, SPX is rocking and rolling, guys. Rocking and rolling. And look at this. This daily candle looks vicious. Bigger than yesterday's range already. And the session just started. It's up 0.69%. It's up 42 points from yesterday's close. Nice. That is ripping shorts faces off. Love it. Now, if we could see Bitcoin do the same. And then we're seeing gold pull back. I want to see it continue. I don't know how much continuation it's going to get, but we'll see what it does. Yeah, Bitcoin, you need to stay above that 4-hour open, please. All right, going back over to the stocks. Trying to find us another setup. Today is the close, so we're more or less looking for a setup for Monday. And I want to stay away from the gold for now. I could just run a scanner, but I don't love it. I'd rather find a buy. This, let's see, this doesn't look great. Oof. Okay, so I don't love this one yet. Wait, no, what? There we go. I mean, it's starting to do what I want to see it do here. Or should we look at the demand candle instead? I don't know if you'll get a test of that. We could put both lines there and we'll look at it on Monday and see what we did today. But if that can hold 105.40, maybe. Nope, options are too spready. Damn it. If y'all have an asset that you know or think is a setup, then let me know, please. Disney, I'm actually looking for it to reject August 2022 highs. If it does get up there and reject, then I might look to fade it back into the range, because all the movies they put out are doing so bad, but they make money other places. They own a lot of corporations. So it might not be a good short. We'll see. Yeah, give me 1 second, photo box. Let me just briefly see if I can find us another setup. Because the more things we have open, the better chances, you know what I mean, of us being in good shape. So this would be like a 2-week hold at best. Equifax, that's if it holds support here. Thank you. If it holds support, I could be a buyer of Equifax. Testing the 50 from above. See, we have to be careful to make sure this isn't a trap. There wasn't a lot of volume, so not loving that, but I'm loving the range. And I'm loving the fact that it's less volume on the pullback here. But today's close will be important for me. on EFX. Equifax, let me check. Hang on. Don't put it on watch yet. Let me check. Let me check. I don't want it to be another shitty spreads or... Oh, it doesn't have weeklies. God, dog. And it's shitty spreads. $3 wide. No thank you. Moving on. End phase energy just is in a never-ending cycle of death. So pass. Could it bounce? I mean, it is bouncing. But damn, it's ugly. Could this be the low? Ooh, it might. One, two, three. Let's go. End phase has good options. I know for a fact I've traded this before, but I was a seller of options. Yeah, it's too wide. It's a buck wide. Fuck. That's probably why I was a seller of options. Yeah, can't do this one either. All right, let me answer your question and then I'll continue to look. Okay, so you said, can you talk a bit more in depth about how you use screeners to identify potential opportunities? Well, screeners are just ways to identify opportunities, right? You could set up a screener. Let me pull you over to the other monitor. Not that one, this one. And go into here. I'll pull this up over here. So like I have 2 scans running right now. This one for some reason is not working. There, now there's one popping up. This is a penny stock momentum scanner, but it's supposed to pop up here because the watch list is the scanner. This is the watch list I'm watching. This is the scanner. This scanner up here is just the percent change scanner. So this will tell me that whatever's trading on the day higher, like big percent change. So like if you see something that's up, say, I don't know, 100% on the day, then you know it's moving. Let me make sure that wasn't the last song in the playlist. I'm pretty sure it is. So we're going back up. Let's go do a different. Do you guys want trap music or do you want like house music, like just standard YouTube music? Let me go. I'll just put on I got many different playlists. I'll put this one on. I like trap music. I like heavy metal also. That's generally what I listen to when I'm jamming out or whatever. Yeah, I know. I'm a 45-year-old trap music listener. Hey, I grew up in the 90s, bro. South Florida in the 90s. Back when Tupac and Spice One and Biggie and all those greats were killing it. Before trap music was even called trap music. But anyways, moving on. So this is just a scanner, right? It's just gonna, to this scanner in specific will tell me when something is moving up. This is up more than 20% on the day and it's got an increase in volume. And that ticker is NINM. So if I pull that up on the chart, it shows me what's going on. Right? It lets me know that it was at some point today a fast mover. Not really now. But TradingView has screeners also. 100%. You can write your own screener. If you can just click on the things that you want to click on. So I have these old scanners back in the day on FinViz. FinViz is a free website. Oh, I had to log in. Never mind. I'll just show you my screeners. I have so many of them. I don't even really run them anymore. I just manually click through them. But here, I'll show you. Back over here on screen 2. It's just, there are many different scanners. You can scan for many different criteria. So like, for instance, if I'm looking for a stock that's testing the 50 on the RSI, either on the daily time frame, then that's going to tell me, okay, this stock is testing the 50 on the daily. That way I don't have to go through them, all the stocks. Like there's 500 in the S&P 500 alone. Then you've got your NASDAQ, then you've got your IWM, you've got your Dow. So like running a scanner is just a good way to not have to cycle through a million stock tickers a day to find an opportunity. My main problem is I do not literally have any scanners in my arsenal of scanners that test for the 50 on the RSI. None. So I will set that up maybe today, but I got a bunch. Let me go into my watch list here. And so personal stuff, I have 5G. That's just a watch list. The stock hacker or scanner will have a purple insignia like this. That lets me know this is a scanner. This scans for 80% IV. Right? So anything that's got an 80% implied volatility, I can run this scan. What happened? Okay, here it is. So let me go to charts. Singular. I need to pull this down. Why wouldn't it let? There we go. Okay. So I can click on buy. I don't have it linked. I'm really sucking at this. So this scanner in particular just lets me know, hey, these options are trading with an 80% implied volatility, so I can sell them. Right? So if I'm looking for a setup today just to sell options, I could do it on either one of these. I probably wouldn't do it on these. Let me link this. Where is the link here? I want to turn this yellow. Perfect. There we go. So this is a too cheap of a trade, right? It's $2.70. So I'm not going to be looking to trade options on that. Or this one. This is a penny stock. But that's just how scanners can help. That's just my personal S through H, bearish moving average cross. So this one is set up to show me any bearish stocks with a bearish moving average cross. There's none popping up because everything is bullish right now. These are all watch lists. Here's a gamma squeeze. Are we seeing any gamma squeezes? Yeah. But a lot of your gamma squeezes are going to come from very illiquid assets. The Tilray is in a gamma squeeze? I think not. Yeah, it's a very small gamma squeeze. I wouldn't call that a gamma squeeze, but there's just different scans I run or can run. And then some of these are downloaded from other people. Unusual options activity. This is a good scan to run to let you know, hey, there's a bunch of people trading a lot of options, unusual option activity. So like yesterday it traded 100,000 contracts. Today it's trading 600,000, right? So for some reason today there's just an unusual amount of options. This scan can really hurt you basically because we don't know what they're doing. We don't know if they're just hedging their bets or what. And then there's a lot of pre-made scanners. Analyst downgrades, analyst upgrades. They just can help you find trades better. So what I need to do for at least the Trade Talk community is I need to set up a scanner on Thinkorswim or TradingView, because that's what we usually use the most of, at least for analytics, because it's just in my opinion, it's a better platform for charting, for actual charting. Doing your analysis is best on this platform, in my opinion. It's just because I've been using it for so long, I got more used to it. But I actually take my trades on the other platforms. Like Charles Schwab has a main account and a small account. And then I have small account on Tasty Trade. And then I have accounts linked like Forex.com and Oanda linked to TradingView. So, I mean, it's just a way to identify potential setups. I need to set one up so that way it'll alert me when we have a daily 50 test and where is it trading in regards to the 21. So like when you're testing the daily 21, then you would be able to just pull that ticker up instead of just scrolling through all of these stocks looking for that setup myself, right? A screener will do it for you. Like here's one right here that would have popped up a few days ago because it came back down into it. So if this has good options and all that, then this would be something to watch. But this one doesn't have good options. Here's another one, FXI. This is a China market, right? But it's testing this. So today we're currently trading under the 21 exponential, but it's testing the 50 right now. So if the buy algos, because there are buy algos set up to buy this, if it like takes over and it becomes bullish momentum, then we want to participate in this. One thing I see right off the bat with FXI is it does a very good job of creating traps. So here's a trap. Here is a trap. Right now it's making a trap potentially. So I don't necessarily want to buy it today because it's coming up on the weekend. But this is definitely this has very good options. Tight spreads. It's a slow mover, so it's easier to manage risk by. But since it's the weekend and it's a 3-day weekend, we don't want to do it today because you're under the 21. It could catch bearish momentum for the rest of the day. So you already have bearish momentum in it. It's already in it. So even though everything else is bullish, this might be a buy. But if we buy it today and we don't get an immediate reaction today, then we're going to have to hold it over the weekend. And if something tragic happens over the weekend in China, like say another massive housing company collapses or something like that, then you're going to have a significant gap down. So I will move it up to the top of the list to watch for Monday. Because if it closes back above the daily 21 today, or better yet, say it closes weak today, and then Monday we get to the market open and it's gapping up, then we'll say, well, this and this was a trap, especially if it's gapping up above this. If you're gapping anywhere above this green line, all of the short sellers in today will be stuck. So we could potentially look to buy calls on the open or sell puts. We could sell time. So there's multiple different trades we could take, but running a scan can find these kind of opportunities instead of having to look for them myself. I just don't have that scan set up yet. I need to set it up. But usually, or at least for the last couple of weeks, been doing live streams up until about 1 o'clock every day. So when I'm done with the stream, I get out of my office. I'm done for the day. I'm not going to sit on the computer and fix a scan. But it should be something I can take care of early, right? Like, say, on a weekend or something. But that's how a scanner can really, really help. It could just basically help you find those opportunities. General Mills. Now, this one is generally traded as a safe play. So it's more like a value play than a growth play. Right now, we're in a growth market. Well, we just looked at the growth. We just looked at value versus growth yesterday. Here's your growth versus value. You can see that when this goes down, you want to look for value plays. When it's going up, you want to look for growth plays. So what we were just looking at, that stock is more of a value play, General Mills. And it's been getting creamed for what looks like a couple years here. So this might be a buying opportunity for a long-term hold. Maybe. I don't know, though. We would have to look at the financials and see what's going on with it. But yeah, scanners are very helpful. If you don't have a lot of time like I do to be sitting in front of your monitor and just doing these things, then setting up scans is perfect for you. And you can set them up in the strategy, they have a scanner down on the bottom of TradingView. And you just click on boxes. That's how you set the scans up. They're not very difficult. Same thing for FinViz. The scan isn't very difficult. See, you can set the scan up like that. Here's things that you want to use. Descriptive, exchange, any, market cap. You can set the market cap for high market cap stocks or whatever. We would want to look in indicators. So we would want to go to technical, 20-day simple. No, we want the 21 exponential. That might be a little bit more difficult. Where's the RSI? Right here. Overbought? Nope. So we can set this up to where it's greater or smaller than 50 or greater than 50. But it doesn't, or we could maybe do a custom. I'm not an elite subscriber, so I'll see if I can find these settings in the TradingView, not Thinkorswim. If they might be better. They might be better. JP Morgan is flying today. This is another Chinese play, and this one has lost the 50. So this one's not giving me a huge amount of confidence on the FXI, as these things usually move pretty similar to one another. I think this one might move just a slight bit more. Lamb Research, all-time highs. Lululemon, bearish on the year. You just made fresh yearly lows. So if Lululemon is going to do good for 2025, it's in a cheap area, but it's not giving us a technical signal yet. MasterCard just did a retest of the 50 yesterday. And look at the reaction you're getting today. Now this one has got dividend risk next Wednesday, so I wouldn't trade this one. But Coinbase put a beating on MasterCard and Visa when that news came out a couple weeks ago. McDonald's. What's going on with McDonald's? Why are they struggling to make money? They're back to up on the year, so McDonald's might be a longer term buy if it can hold support. We don't have a technical buy yet, so the bears are still in control of momentum. But that may flip. So McDonald's might be something to watch soon. I don't know what Melly is. But I mean, I don't like that momentum to the downside and then the bounce. I like a slow moving oscillator. And if you can pair this signal up right here, like a retest of the 50 on a slow mover, and one that's squeezing, like this is what we call squeezing, right? Your Bollinger Bands are getting tighter and tighter and tighter. It's squeezing. So like on something like this, once it goes into range bound, your Bollinger Bands will start squeezing into price. Like this, you can pair that up. Like give me a TTM or a Bollinger Band squeeze and a 50 test, because then you would be able to buy it in anticipation that you're about to see a breach of volatility to the upside, or not volatility, but yeah, I guess it would be volatility, wouldn't it? You would be getting a potential squeeze play, and squeeze plays work good for momentum. They get really, really momentous. Okay, here. Oh, and I love O'Reilly. O'Reilly is a fantastic company to own. Look at this stock. I don't know if you could find a better one than this. So O'Reilly's been a publicly traded company since 1993. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years have been bearish. The rest of the years of O'Reilly have been just straight up. These people make money. And if we look at the weekly, we got close to this. That's good. They did just recently have a split. a reverse split. This company was trading for well over $1,000 the other day. 15-to-1 split. See your weekly here? If we put up the Bollinger Bands, they're squeezing. They're squeezing into price. That's a squeeze. So if you get a breakout, a candle breaking out, and you were able to buy like a 50 test, then you might see the volatility bands expand. Like say if this candle were to break out. I should use the pen instead of the damn mouse. If you get a breakout on volatility, then the Bollinger Band's going to start doing this. And then you could see potential multi-day run to the upside. So these are just many different techniques a lot of traders use to basically identify trades before they happen. O'Reilly's getting moved to the top of the list because not only do we have a potential 50 test and hold here, we also have a potential volatility breakout coming up. So the price to watch moving forward is going to be 89.32 for support. A retest of this price moving forward. A retest moving forward could give us a buying opportunity. All right. All right. Palo Alto Networks, one of Nancy Pelosi's favorites to hold. Just did get the 50 test. So far it's holding. So we might be late on this. Also, this thing moves. So if you get a breakout here above the all-time high on heavy volume and a Bollinger Band breakout, you could see a multi-day run on this as well. This split back at the end of last year. 2-to-1. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I was trading at around 400 bones. Yeah, so we can watch this one to see if it has support and holds. Or set an alert for a breakout above the high. And then we'll look to see if it's on increased volume. If it is, then we'll be interested in scalping Palo Alto to the upside. Bitcoin is rejecting. If it loses this, I'm going to not like it. And risk is still up on highs. See, that's just what happens with Bitcoin, guys. Every time it tries to get to the point of getting close to breakout, you got people just hammering on the shorts. Just hammering the shorts. We broke out above the trend line and we had really good news today. So hopefully it can hold intraday support, the intraday VWAP. Hopefully. If we lose this, it's not going to look great for upside continuation today. So if it starts closing a few 5-minute candles under this, I'll be okay. I just don't want to see momentous candles. I don't want to see stuff like this because it just takes 10 minutes and it'll be right back to my entry. No bueno. Bitcoin, you suck. And did any of these alts even do anything? Hype? Not really. It did the same thing. Made a fresh daily high and rolled over. Fartcoin didn't even make a fresh daily high. LPT's bearish on the day. Tesla is unchanged on the day. GLD, not really doing anything. Jasmy looks disgusting. W, well, that long didn't work. See, I can't see into the future, man. There's no way I can tell you if this is going to happen or not. You have to manage your own risk. All I'm doing is trying to show you where the setup may or may not be. I don't know that the setup's going to work ever. I just know what I'm looking for to see if it's even a trade or not. But yeah, it didn't work. Remember, W is also inherently weak overall, so it makes sense that it's back to the daily lows. It's structured more bearish than bullish. So Bitcoin, this is what we were kind of watching yesterday when we were looking to short one of these. I can't remember which one it was. Which one were we shorting yesterday? Yeah, but we wanted to see Bitcoin pull back. It never did. Bitcoin like literally just refused to pull back yesterday. It pulled back before the market opened. And then here's the market open on Bitcoin yesterday. And then it literally trades up all day until it gets all the way up here and then it rejects. But it wasn't a big rejection. It was a very small range. I want to see this area hold a support for sure. What's the VIX doing? The VIX is pulled back. So even though risk markets is rocking and rolling to the upside, the VIX has pulled back. Maybe we could scalp a short on the ES futures. See this? You've pulled back to the 50% retracement of this range. If it holds this area as resistance, then I don't want to scalp S&P 500 lower. If this blasts through this area, I do want to scalp the ES futures lower. So I'm going to pull that up right now. And what? We'll go out 7 days. I'm going to set this up just to get it ready. Remember, I'm not going to take it unless the VIX breaks through the 50 here. If the VIX breaks through the 50, then I'll just go over to the other monitor and hit the buy button on the put. Just for a small pullback. I'm not looking to short the market because I think it's going to roll over and go to zero just because it's extended and the VIX is pulling up. Bitcoin is already showing us a pullback from the highs. So let's watch the VIX for a second. Here's the volatility of the VIX. So it's pretty much been trading up since the open. So volatility of the VIX is increasing slightly. And just like that yearly open was acting as resistance, you've got a daily support here acting as support. I won't want to see a higher high. I want to see a lower high because we got a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. When we make the higher high, then you're going to have a change, right? If we do get a spike up to the higher high on the VVIX, you are going to break through the 50 on the VIX. And then buying a put might be justified. But if Bitcoin holds support here and starts to trend back to the upside today, then I will not execute that position on the yes. Okay. All right, let me see here on the questions. Newbie question, what does the NFP tell us? The NFP tells us a few things. It tells us in non-farm payrolls, which is a survey. It tells us right here, non-farm payrolls is an employment report released monthly, and it's released on the first Friday of every month. Usually, the first Friday of every month. Usually on the first, it says it right there. I could have just kept reading. Usually on the first Friday of every month, and heavily affects the US dollar, the bond market, and the stock market. Current Employment Statistics, CES, program from the U.S. Department of Labor Bureau of Labor Statistics surveys about 141,000 businesses and government agencies, representing approximately 486,000 individual work sites, in order to provide detailed industry data on employment, hours, and earnings of workers on non-farm payrolls. So the easiest, simplistic way to look at it is a beat means there's more workers. A miss means less workers. And then the other very important number would be your unemployment rate. This is a self-explanatory thing, right? It measures the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate is super important because if it's going up, then then more and more people are filing for unemployment. The Fed watches the unemployment rate, and the unemployment rate always comes out with the non-farm payrolls. So if unemployment rate is going up, that could be signaling to the Fed that hard times are near, right? The more people start losing their jobs, generally says that we could be heading towards a recession. So they will adjust Fed policy being dependent on this data, because the Fed has two mandates: stable pricing and employment. That's their two mandates. That's the two things that they can control. So lowering interest rates isn't something they want to do when employment is good, because lowering interest rates is a tool that they use when you have high unemployment. However, if you have low unemployment and you've been in a tight monetary policy environment, then you can also ease off on rates, basically to help spur on growth, because your labor market is tight. It's good. So just because we know what the news is, it does not mean that's how the market's going to anticipate the news, right? There's the news, and then there's the market's reaction to the news. You could have really good numbers, which we got here. These are good numbers, and the market anticipated that as good, but now is pulling back. So we never know how the market will digest that news. But there's actually a lot more data prints that come out with the NFP. It isn't just those two. Those two are the most important, right? Here are all of the news prints that come out with the NFP. Right here, you got U.S. initial jobless claims, U.S. jobless claims 4-week average, U.S. continued jobless claims, U.S. average earnings, Canadian exports, Canadian imports, U.S. average earnings, U.S. international trade, like all this stuff comes out with the NFP. So you could get a good NFP number and a good unemployment number and then have bad all those other numbers and the market rolls over. I think because the risk market's still up on highs and Bitcoin's pulling back, that there's two ways we can take that really. Either Bitcoin may find intraday support and start to rally again for the second half of the day, or the risk market is probably getting pretty close to topping out for the day. Now, I'm not expecting a crash. If the VIX does shoot up, I'm not expecting a crash, just a pullback. Right? Just a pullback. So we would be looking for about a 10-point move. We would be risking 4 to 5 points to potentially make 10 points. But if we buy a put, we would need more like 20 points. Let's go see what the VIX is doing, because Bitcoin is pulling back significantly now. So the VIX is rolling over here. I think you could probably call bullshit on this Bitcoin move. I don't know for a fact. So please don't take that as the gospel. But since we're seeing risk markets still continue to go up and the VIX is now rolling back over, I think Bitcoin might find support here pretty soon intraday. So we might be able to buy this again. Let's go see if there's something else real fast. I don't like these alts, man. Damn. That looks like not a pullback. Let's go look at the dominance chart. It might just be Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin is strong. It's gaining its strength here. It's still red on the day, right? No, it's up on the day now. Okay. So if this pattern continues, if it continues to print higher highs today, then I would expect Bitcoin to find support. So maybe we can just up our position size on Bitcoin for the second half of the day. Damn, I'm in a good position. I hate to ruin it. Let me think. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just going to leave it as is, because I just... As long as it's holding the 930 open, I think Bitcoin could potentially go higher, but I don't like this price action. Not while everything else is just screaming to the upside. Tesla has not made higher highs on the day yet. Apple made higher highs last 30-minute session. Microsoft is currently making higher highs on the day, and Nvidia is pulling back off the highs for the last 30 to 45 minutes. But Nvidia is also testing its intraday VWAP. Gold is still pulling back. Yeah, I really don't. Oh, so many stops were ran just now on that last 5-minute upswing. What is wrong with you, Bitcoin? You suck. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to re-enter a new position here. But if I missed the long from earlier this morning, as long as everything keeps doing what it's doing, Now, if risk markets roll over, Bitcoin will roll back over and go lower. But if everything keeps going up, this could be a potential entry point. But you've already missed the majority of the volume. So Bitcoin could just pull back for the rest of the day and just be sideways and stupid all day. Tomorrow is the 4th of July, so I would say a lot of traders are leaving the desk right about now. That could be why we're seeing a significant decline in Bitcoin's price. Everybody scalped it to the upside and hit the sell button. Just be careful if you do take a new position on Bitcoin this late in the day, please. XRP. So it's trying to hold the yearly opening range. It did good in June. It closed up in June. That was after a pretty big move lower. But the last week of June was good. I mean, it's contending with daily res right now. Overall, it doesn't look terrible. Yeah, I mean, it looks okay, but it's going to be contending with weekly res. I said daily, I meant weekly res. You got weekly resistance right there. So it would be hard for me to buy it at weekly res, right? Very difficult to buy that. Last week's high is down there. Last week high. And what is it doing intraday VWAP wise? It's losing it. But so is Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is kind of at a very good bounce place. I just don't know if it will bounce. But it is at a very good place to bounce. So maybe if Bitcoin bounces, this will too. I don't know. It looks okay to me. It's up on the year. It closed up in June. Your July open, you're trading away from it as well. So objectively, it is bullish for the year, and bullish for the start of Q3, and bullish for the start of the second half of the year. Objectively, those are all facts. You bounced the same place that you bounced on Bitcoin on a 50 retest. So it looks good for upside continuation. The question for the rest of the day will be, will the sellers be more aggressive than the buyers at resistance? That is the question. That is something that nobody can answer. I don't care how good of a price analyst they are. Right? We don't know what will happen 2 seconds from now. Something can come out on XRP that sends it crashing, and then something can come out that sends it skyrocketing. We don't know what will happen, but we do have great technical levels to watch here. An objective price point. This is going to be resistance until you close a weekly candle above it, as that is your highest weekly close since this one, since the pullback. On the weekly time frame itself, bulls are in control of momentum. On the daily time frame, bulls are in charge of momentum, but that can change. So right now it looks good and constructive. I would be long. I think the probabilities are that it goes higher, but it's not a guarantee. And I don't like buying it here. Like if it would have been this morning around the New York session open, then maybe I wouldn't have been a buyer on that either. Because you can basically see what happened. Here's your 930 open. You've lost it. And you've closed under it. So you need to see a bullish engulfing almost for the bulls to continue to hold this range. Your point of control is up here, so the majority of today's volume has traded above where price is trading now. Cumulative volume delta is probably bullish, but it's losing its bullish momentum. The bears are in control of potentially reversing price right now. Bitcoin is bearish on the cumulative volume delta. That isn't good. It doesn't mean Bitcoin's going to continue to roll over. It just means it's going to be much more difficult for the bulls to basically get it back. They could get it back the next 10 minutes. But right now, it's not looking great. Yeah, your best trading times is going to be like right before market open or just after, right? That's when you're going to see the daily range expansion most of the time. If you're going to see an upside expansion, it should happen after the New York session open. Just like we're seeing on the risk markets. Like, you cannot deny that. Here's your 930 right here. So at 930, the US markets opened at 62.93. You're trading at 63.24 right now. So it has been trending up all day. Taking a short right now on ME or the ES futures isn't advised, but I think I might do it just cause I don't like that cumulative volume delta on Bitcoin. But let's be clear also, I mean, if there has been more aggressive selling, that could be fuel to the fire if Bitcoin gets a big spike on news. So come on, Trump. Let's give us a bullish tweet, bro. Give us a bullish tweet, bro. Yeah, I mean, it's anybody's guess as to what XRP will do for the rest of the day, but overall it looks okay. I've not used screeners at all. When you mentioned it it seemed like it might help me be more efficient. It will help you be more efficient. It will, than manually scrolling through all those charts. Absolutely. I mean, it'll just help you find setups quicker. But those screeners aren't the best in the world. Free screeners are not the best. The best screeners and scanners are the ones that you pay a premium for. Those like Benzinga, they have good screeners and scanners and squawks. Who else has really good scanners? There's another one I used to use. I can't remember the name of it real quick because it's been a long time since I've used them. If I remember the name, I'll give it to you the next time I go live. But there's some premium scanners out there. Obviously, the premium scanners will do better. But still, I mean, the free scanners are pretty much good enough to find potential trades. Photobox says he's been using Grok to help write Pine script for TradingView. I'll have to try one for a screener. Yeah, you can do that. There's someone in my Discord. They're on vacation right now, but they write a lot of code for TradingView. Lifestyle Media, you said RSI over 50 is bullish momentum, but why does its relationship to the 21 average tell us? Generally speaking, whenever the RSI is at or around the 50, you will also be at or around the 20-day exponential, the 21-day exponential. Almost always. So you could use one or the other, right? Because they are just averages. They are just averages. We'll go back to FXI because it's currently testing the 50 on the RSI from above. So you were bullish, now you're testing it from above. This could be a bear trap, so we don't want to be a buyer just yet. We want to see that this was a bear trap first. Then we can be a buyer, and that will just help the probabilities to the upside. But this could also mean that the bulls have lost momentum. So we don't want to buy it just in case the bears have momentum, because then it'll end up being a big down day. So we just have to give it another day. Monday, we'll look at it. But notice where your 21 EMA is. So it's just whenever one is being tested, the other generally is or was, right? So on this one, we're testing the 50, but we're just below the 21. In my experience, it's almost always. I mean, you can go back and look at it yourself just by looking on the chart. You can pretty much see that almost always when you're around the 50 on the RSI, you're also around or at the 21. It's just another indicator to give you more confluence, to help you also to not fall for traps. Do not get short this on the first day of breakdown, because we know traps exist, right? Whereas the 50 is telling you to be a buyer, the 21 is even tighter with price, telling you to wait because you're already trading under it. So wait, be patient is what the 21 tells you. The 50 gives you the setup. The 21 is telling you to wait. Wait to see if it's a trap, because if it isn't and you get downside continuation on Monday, then we can look to sell resistance. But even then, it doesn't always work. Because here you go. This was a trap. It's the first day that you break down and trade under. Then you got downside continuation. So anybody that looked for shorts, right, or around there got smoked, right? They were not patient enough. They got smoked. We would have never taken this trade, not based on the close, but we might have taken it intraday, because it did open at the next day or the previous day's open, and it traded under it. So we would have been watching 35.84. This is not a hindsight. I'm telling you exactly, this is the way we trade. We would have been watching the open to see if it acts as resistance. So it would have looked like this. Going into the day, we know we're under the 21. We know we're looking for shorts if 35.84 acts as resistance. There's the open, and immediately you go up. So immediately I would be holding. I would not be shorting it. Also, it would be a difficult short because you gapped up above it. And I would have known by experience, all of these short sellers are now what? They're stuck. They're stuck. They can't. The market literally opened at or above their stop loss. So now they're stuck. Stuck shorts can cause higher buying pressure. So we would have never, ever shorted. Wait. Okay. So if we would have still been watching the markets at noon, which we wouldn't, because I'm done trading usually by 11, 12 o'clock. Or at least I'm done looking for new positions by that time. But I still would have been watching 35.84 at the close to see if it closed back under. Because if it closed back under, well, then the next day at the New York session, I could then watch it again to see if it acts as resistance. If it does, then take the short. But we know from hindsight that this closed way above. So hell no, this is not a short. Not a short. So the 21 just tells you, it gives you a deeper dive into the setup itself. 50 says, hey, there might be a setup. 21 says, whoa, wait a minute here. Be patient. Wait for the setup. Because as of right now, you don't have the setup. We want to catch the bullish breakout or the bullish momentum once the breakout starts to happen. Remember, we're not trying to bottom tick these things. Bottom ticks are sexy to throw out on Twitter and Insta, right? It's sexy when you bottom or top tick a trade, but you will not be consistently profitably doing that. You have to learn to be patient. You have to learn to let trades go. You have to be willing to miss them. You have to. If you cannot wait, you will lose money. You will get caught off sides multiple times. Whereas if you just be patient, you will get, a lot of times you will get absolute perfect setups and catch the meat of the move, not the whole move. So if it closes back up here today, we're going to miss 20 cents. Woo. Right? Big deal. We're not looking to catch 20 cents. We're looking to catch $3. So we'll be patient. It's on watch. Same with O'Reilly. We may have missed this trade as it's already set up the trap and it's already expanding away from the trapped shorts who are right here. Everybody that jumped in early yesterday, shorting the 21 and shorting the breakdown, are stuck now. So what we want to do moving forward on O'Reilly is we want to watch a retest of this price. And then as long as it can hold it, we can then buy it in anticipation of this happening. Right? But we got to be patient first. So that's how you successfully use the 50 and 21. McD's got to switch to them tallow fries. Yeah, I agree. Go back to tallow, please. The fries were so much better. They were crispier. They were better. They tasted better. They were just better. See, this thing sets up traps the same way that price does. And just once you got more experience, once you become better at managing risk and you stop blowing your account, You will be able to see this stuff like nobody's business, man. Those are all traps. This is a trap. That's a trap. You see what I'm saying? All of this right here is Chop City. You will also become better in identifying this stuff. Right? So you'll be able to look at this and you'll be able to say, well, Trade Talk says anytime it's touching the 50, then we got to look for trades. Well, say you be patient, you get your scalp, you get your setup, and then it still doesn't work. And then 2 days goes by and then you try it again and it still doesn't work. At that point in time, you have to be able to tell yourself, well, this isn't working, so I'm moving on from this asset. Because it is not expanding. It is not trending. We're trend followers, not trend predictors. You have to just be able to identify when the setups are not working. You forget the asset and you move on. Look for another one. And then come back to this one if it starts to work. So Bitcoin is bouncing for us. But not really, right? But it is bouncing. That's better than smacking the lows. I'm loving your live streams lately. Appreciate your time. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Poida. Welcome back. It's been a while. But can the reactions happen a few times a day? Absolutely they can. Yes. If you're watching the 5-minute time frame and you're watching an objective price level, it can absolutely do this. For the rest of the day, you have to be the professional and identify when that is happening. So this morning I took a trade on Bitcoin. It was unsuccessful. Instead of losing a full percent on the trade, I lost about $10, right? $10 because I was early. Then I tried it again here, got in, and it worked. So I didn't take profits because I was actually expecting it to break out. It did not. So now I've lost half of my unrealized gains because of that stupid decision. 99% of the time, I take profits ahead of the high of day. Ahead of it. This is the high of day. I'm taking profits here. I didn't this time, and it bit me in the ass. So when you don't follow the rules, you will get bit. Follow the rules. Take profits. 1088 up to what? 1102. That's over 1,000 points of profitability. That's almost 1%. Bitcoin's a slow mover sometimes. I should have took profits. I should have moved my stop to break even, and then I wouldn't have to worry about this trade anymore for the rest of the day. But yes, absolutely, it can 100% fake you out to the downside, then fake you out to the upside, then fake you out to the downside, then fake you out to the upside. You will understand this is happening and stop trading it, hopefully, right? That's what puts traders on tilt when they keep trying to get it. When the market's literally telling you, hey, it is not working today. You are just losing money today. You are not making money today. Stop trading today. That will be on you, not on me. My job is to teach you how to analyze trend, how to come up with a bias. Once you have that bias, it's your job to mitigate your downside risks. It is your job to identify if your setup is working or not. This is another reason why I don't take trades after 11 or 12 o'clock, because I know my setup will work before then. I am usually done by 11, 12 o'clock. So my edge isn't in taking new trades at this time. My edge is waiting for this trade. Boom. Then I'm done. I got my move. I took my money. I'm out of the market. I'm done for the day. I wait for the next day. That's up to you. That's what I can't teach you that. I can tell you guys to stop doing that, but I got followers that's been following me for years. I have people that's been supporting me financially through the Discord and Patreon for years that are still struggling because that's the part they can't get. They still think that they're struggling with just identifying where to put risk on. That ain't it. You know where to put risk on. I've been saying the same things for 4 years. You have to know at this point where to put on risk, how to identify trend. It's up to you to manage that money. I can't do it for you. I wish I could, you know what I mean? If I could, I would, but I can't. I am not licensed to do that. If I was licensed to do that, I would have an office somewhere and there would be a big sign outside that said Trade Talk. Let me manage your money. You know what I'm saying? I'm not licensed for that. I can't do that. That's on you. So if you've been like, if you understand my strategy and you're still not making money, you have to like figure it out what it is, or hit me up. And if you're paying to be in the Discord, you have 24/7 access to ask me questions. 24/7. I always respond. That's what you're paying for. You're not paying for trade setups and call outs. I'm not a signal service. You're paying for my help. Me to help you get there. To understand what you're looking for, when to put on risk. It's up to you to manage it. But I can help you. Like, I can help you identify where you're going wrong. You know what I mean? You just got to tell me what's going on and I will help. I'll do what I can. Sideways markets ruin. I tell you one thing right here. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. A sideways market will ruin my P&L if I'm not careful. And I've been doing this shit for years. Successfully. Years. In my own office. My big ass monitors, all 5 of them. And my big comfortable desk. I've got all the gadgets, all the cool gear setting right here. Except a camera, the one thing I don't have. I got everything else. So I can help you guys. You know what I'm saying? I can help you. You just got to ask for my help. But even I have to be careful because sometimes I'm human and my brain lets my ego tell myself to click the buy button or sell button too often, and then my P&L goes down. Then I go into the week with a losing P&L. Right now on the crypto exchange, on the crypto platform, I'm going into the week green. That is if I don't blow it tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. But I know the market's closed, so I don't take many trades on the weekend. I might take one if I even trade on the weekend. You have to understand that. You will get it. Time will teach you these things. It's just experience. I have more of it than you. That is all. I'm not smarter than you. I have a thyroid issue. I had a stroke a few years ago. So, and it was due to an overactive thyroid. They had me on medications that I spend an insane amount of money on. The thyroid is also causing AFib. Like I'm in AFib right now. My heart is not beating regularly. It never does. But I'm okay as long as I take my medicine. But my medicine affects my thinking. Like I can't remember certain words. I can see this. Like you can just go listen to me speak. When on like some of my first YouTube videos, I speak a lot better than I do now. Now I stumble over words. Like stupid little words. Like that scanner. I freaking know what the name of that damn premium scanner is. I used it and paid them thousands upon thousands of dollars over the years. But my brain is just, bleh. It's screwed over because of the medication or because of the thyroid. I don't know, right? My health, I'm getting older. My health is failing. So trust me when I tell you, I am not smarter than you. Anybody can do this. Any one of you guys, any one of you that are listening to my voice right now, you can do this. You just got to stop gambling. You got to be smart about it. You got to treat your money. I don't care if it's $25. If it's $25, that's all you have to trade with, then you need to treat that like it's $25 billion. You need to learn how to keep that money. You can't go on tilt and say, fuck it, I'm going to blow it all on this one trade because it ain't going to make me pay my bills anyway. That's the wrong way to approach this. That's when you will lose it. Or I want to get rich tomorrow. I'm sick of my job. I get it. I was sick of mine too. That's why I started to learn this stuff. You will get it. You just got to stop doing all of the things that you are currently doing that's stopping you from reaching your goals. You got to take less trades. Some people will, like used to, when I first got started on YouTube, a couple people would just back test all day long. And I would be a strong proponent in that. Like this replay button is super, super helpful on almost every time frame, because you can play the market out how it played itself out. And as long as you don't know what the upcoming data is, then you should be able to place trades with fake money, with old data, and just see if you can get it. If you can make that number go up using free tools, no money, then you can do it with money. That's the way you should start first. Get good at the system. Get good at everything. Get your time in. Get your experience in. Once you can identify a trending, choppy, sideways market, you'll do so much better. And then once you get to the point to where you hate losing money more than you like making money, and you understand you can't predict a damn thing. It ain't about you predicting price direction that will make you successful. It isn't about predicting what will happen. It's about managing your capital. I lost $10 on the first trade on Bitcoin today. The trade is, if I would have taken profits, woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? I'm still up on the week, even if I lose money on this trade. Right now, my P&L looks like I don't give a shit. I'm done. I'm done for the day. This thing could go to $1 million today. I don't care. I'm not chasing it because I know I could buy it again right now. And what's that going to do? That's going to make me go in the hole again. And then if it goes down instead of up, I'm going to lose the money I just made on the day. But no, I lost $10 on the first trade. I just made $72 on that trade. I am up on the day. It's not $1 million. I'm not getting rich, but I successfully navigated the markets today. That's a win. It's not a loss. It is a win. You guys need to do these things. Get a rule set. You don't have to use mine rules. You can use your own. Once I teach you how to identify the trade, it will be up to you to learn to manage the risk. Refuse to lose. The best way to refuse to lose is the one way nobody ever wants to trade, and that is to go in light. Very small. You can always average in if you start to see huge bullish candles and huge momentum bars or volume bars or whatever, right? You can always average up, average up, average up. As long as price is continuing to go up, your profits are going to go up. It's when price reverses and starts to come back. That's when we find ourselves in trouble as traders. When price isn't doing what we need it to do, that's when we get into trouble. How many times have you been enter on this red line, and then instead of exiting when this candle's pushing lower, right? Because it doesn't usually go in a straight line. It usually does this, right? Right? And you sat there and you watch this and this and this and this and this all the way until, well, now you're right on the day. I'll exit it once it goes back above this. How often does that happen to you guys? Well, guess what? That will happen to me too if I let it. I don't know what price is going to do. I don't know. I can't know. If I knew what price was going to do, I would mortgage every piece of property I own off. I would bet the freaking farm on a 1 minute candle. I would jack up this leverage up to 1 million if I could. If I knew